welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us here for the Cookout podcast every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. It is late over there on the East Coast, where my co-host Miss Anika, I almost called you Anika. I'm sorry. CM is at the moment. It is very late over there. We are here as always for to talk what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. So as we always do, we kick it off with the clown of the week, and CM is our resident person that gives us clown of the week. So without further ado, what you got this week?
First off, is it because I'm black that you think I'm Anika? Like she got bigger hair, she got the boobs. I I
She
can't
does.
compete there.
She does. I
I cannot.
definitely wasn't thinking you were looking
I
at it. It
can't.
was just a Freudian slip there.
And also the fact that they never let her set Anika free. Not really, because she needs to be able to earn
Right?
money.
You
But let Anika
fire
breathe sometimes. Anika's
on the
job.
podcast side.
We
That's
miss
right.
her. We miss her. All right.
Uh,
Clowns of the week, of course. Though let's start off with Phil because it's up and it's stuck. And um, a few things. I saw a bunch of people trying to slam Hangman Anna Page and praise Phil. Um, Here's the thing, right? All that we have seen of Phil's activism has been a picture of a rally. Does anybody have a picture of him actually there? Like actually walking
right?
in, like protesting?
Right?
Um, him talking about SAG-AFTRA and then making sure that Ryan Nemeth was not on Collision, and Ryan is possibly earning more money than CM Punk is in Hollywood. Um, I just would like to again point out he talked this big game about Saudi and there, and let's never. And did he apologize to the Miz in public for that after he told him to go slog on a certain covered
Mhm.
knob? No, no. Okay. And then last but not least, when it comes to Phil, um, all that smack talking about Vince, and Vince was like, "Yeah, I don't want to work with him," and he was like begging to come back to WWE. I I would say if I got fired on my wedding day, which incidentally he and I have the same wedding day. It's always funny to me about that. If I was fired from a job on my wedding day, I would not beg to come back. But that's just me and how my pride is set up. But then again, when I leave jobs, I get asked to come back if I would like to. I don't ever get escorted out or told no, we don't want you by the owner and or room body. That's just Phil. Has AJ Lee been seen since that little run there? The what 3 4 episodes she was on? No, no,
I don't know. Not that I'm
no.
aware of. I'm not watching it, so I don't know.
Right. Kind of seems like a clown of the week for you made this big fuss for returning in 3 or 4 episodes. Wow.
That's that standard, 3 week WWE push, right? So there you go.
Yep. I'm gonna go also with the fans. I got I got this one, and then the next one is gonna lead into our topic for this week.
All
Um,
right.
the fans going at Nikki Bella talking about Cena left you. John Cena did not leave Nikki Bella. It is well documented that Nicole Garcia stopped messing with John Felix Anthony Cena Jr. because we have to get it right. Because unlike Vince, who trademarked John Cena's dad's name, we want to get our facts right. It's documented that Nicole chose to leave John because John did not want children, nor did he want to get married, and that was something that she really wanted. And then a few years later, he ends up married and allegedly not having kids. But you know, Life is interesting in interesting ways. So for the fans to sit there and chant, sing, left you, not only are you stupid, you're wrong. You're wrong and stupid. Let's fix that, folks. Let's fix that. Last but not least, I am not a Rich Holland fan. He just never connected me. I did not live for Rich Holland, especially when the Big E thing happened. However, I am not the type of person that rejoices and relishes in someone losing their job and potentially becoming homeless in the current space that we are in, where we are two steps away from homelessness ending up being incarceration. Like, let's be real, let's be honest. I, as much as I love to be contrarian and I love to be an asshole, um, I cannot find it in my heart, unless someone is genuinely a foul person, to rejoice and be happy that people could be unhoused, people could be hungry, children can be impacted. I am also not the type of person to believe the worst in people unless they show me that that is who they are. With that being said, the folks who are intentionally not understanding what Rich Holland is saying with his in regards to the GoFundMe, if it's intentional that you're not comprehending what he's saying, I need you to come back and read to high school English and learn to read for comprehension. Because, and it could all be a scam. He never said he didn't know the GoFundMe wasn't coming out. He said he did not know that it was already out. He did not say that he was going to return the money. What he said is once he's back on his feet and able to earn the money, he wants to pay it forward to other folks. A lot of wrestling fans are like the churches that that woman called on TikTok saying that she had a baby and she needed formula. They want to look good in public, so they rag on the topic of the day, be it Rich Holland, be it abortion, be it whatever it is. And when it comes to actually put up or shut up, they can't. So kind of lead to people who are intentionally making sure that they put out a narrative about Rich Holland because um personally that's not the type of karma I want. And I try to believe the best in folks because I like good karma and I like doing things to help other people because that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know what's happening in his personal life. I do think it's kind of dumb to buy a house when the company has already shown you they want to fire you. Um, but I also think for a multi-billion-dollar company to do the things that WWE does is sickening. But then again, they're part of this administration, so who knows? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not kind of caught on, this week we're going to be talking about the Rich Holland of it all and injuries in WWE and kind of just vibing off of that because, quite honestly, when it comes to WWE, there's a lot of things that people say and do and excuse that I just can't get down with. Um, I've been talking for a while, so AOW, take it away.
Maybe this isn't a fair assessment. Maybe it's being, kind of a victim of the moment. But, for a long time, I was, Vince was kind of like the big bad wolf, right? And the boogeyman. And it's like Vince is the end all. And I'm not, I mean, is it wrong to say that it feels like it's worse now that Vince is gone? mean, was Vince better than what's there now? Like, I mean, the thought of that is bizarre because, like, it was terrible, but it feels like WWE was better. I don't know. It just feels like it's more corrupt and more fucked up now than it was when Vince was around. And maybe that's not true. Maybe that's just my own whatever. But that's what it seems like, just from a very outlook or standpoint. And I don't pay attention to a lot of the inside stuff. So, but that's just what it looks like. And so it's weird to think that that's potentially something that could be true. Like, you know way more about that stuff than I do. What do you think about that comment?
I will say when it comes to WWE when this was there, it seemed as if with Vince you had kind of one direct path and you had one point person. With TKO, it's a lot of different parts and they don't communicate. Like look at the things that Karrion Cross is saying. Like
Yeah.
one person is telling him to go out there and trash Bray Wyatt. He feels like it's wrong in his gut. He goes to speak to someone else. They're like, "Yeah, we never said that. Don't do that."
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No.
Paul wants you to do this. Go talk to Paul. Paul's like, "I never said that."
Yeah. Somebody's lying somewhere, somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
someone's lying somewhere. Yeah, it seems way more
With Vince,
dysfunctional now than
yeah,
it
with
did
Vince,
before, which is,
with Vince, he was a dick, and he didn't mind being a dick. So,
yeah, yeah. And
and
when
then he kind of liked it.
and when you're the sole owner, before you go public, when you're the sole owner and you rule kind of with an iron fist, and yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, which is what you don't have now.
I
Right now,
mean,
you have a board, you've got all sorts of people with their hands in the pot.
so
Everyone wants to try to make a decision and have influence on the way the company works. So,
now, hold on. This is also the part that I don't think a lot of people understood. Vince still had control of WWE up until he started selling his stock
right,
because he had a specific class of stock that enabled him to have the majority of voting rights.
voting shares, right? Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
if he wanted whatever he said went, it's just you didn't have the option of buying stock in WWE. But your stock, 9 times out of 10, would not give you the right to vote. Or if you
Mm,
voted, your vote would
yeah,
not really count for anything.
no doubt.
So WWE being public at the time did not matter until you sold.
Yeah, that's true. It's just
But
true.
yeah,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
no, it just seems
you're right. It was better. It's
it,
sadly that
yeah, which is just a crazy thing to think of because I mean, I can just remember thinking, oh, we just have to wait till Vince is gone. Just wait till Vince is gone. Just wait till Vince is gone. Now he's gone, and it's worse than it's been. So, Ridge Holland, obviously, like you, I don't want anyone to ever lose their job or to lose their livelihood, anyone to suffer like that. That's always a terrible thing. WWE deciding, I guess, now to cover it after all the backlash, cover his injury. I don't know if they said they wouldn't in the first place, but it sounded like maybe they were leaning towards that with the firing and all that stuff. They weren't going to cover it, and now because of public outcry and whatever they're going to, which I guess, hey, at least something's making you do something decent, I suppose, in that regard. Here's the thing, like he got a lot of bad press, especially over the Big E thing because it wasn't the first time he had hurt somebody in the ring. Um, and maybe it's justified, to a certain extent. The reality is that maybe he isn't good enough to be in the ring with some of those guys, or maybe he shouldn't be doing those moves, whatever the case may be. Um, but it seems like from the response of the people that got injured at his hands and from his response that they were genuine accidents, that he's been apologetic and remorseful. Biggie has nothing but good things to say about Ridge Holland at this point, and he's one of the guys that got seriously injured. So I mean, I don't know, like,
really
I'm not sure like how I can say anything bad when the guy that got his career ended by him doesn't have anything bad to say about him, right? So, and it seems like Ridge wants to try to do the right thing and be a decent guy. He just had some, maybe he's not the right guy for wrestling. Maybe the moves he's doing isn't the right situation. Maybe the choreography isn't right. I don't know. There's a whole thing about people working stiff and all those things. And a lot of, this has happened. This isn't the first time any of this stuff has happened before in wrestling, obviously. And, we as wrestling fans, as a society, we cheer the strong style. We get excited when the guy pops back up after getting smacked, and it's like, because it's like, and those are all the things that, yeah, I mean, those things really hurt. This is, whether we believe it or not, whether it's choreographed, whether it's scripted, it is a contact endeavor. I mean, these are athletes out there putting their bodies on the line, and you're bound to have injuries. I mean, especially when you're trying and your goal is to not injure people. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more than it does. I mean, you know how hard it is to control what looks like a real punch from hitting somebody and still make it look good, or to try to kick somebody with the super kick and try to make it look good when it doesn't actually cause any harm. That's very, very, very difficult. So the fact that sometimes you can't control your foot and stop on the dime and you hit them in the face or something, I mean, it's bound to happen, and every one of these people knows that. So I mean, Bret Hart is extremely bitter with Bill Goldberg for, a bad move that cost him, a concussion, and he feels like, wellness, whatever in his life, all those things. Owen Hart broke Steve Austin's neck with a pile driver,
Oh,
and
whoa,
Owen
whoa,
Hart,
whoa, 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 whoa. I gotta
what?
stop you. I'll let you get away with
That,
Brett. He told Goldberg, don't do this move. You're not ready to do it. Goldberg didn't listen. That's one.
absolutely,
Two,
that's what,
he
absolutely.
didn't. Owen Blackheart did not break Steve Austin's neck. He at he drove the injury into the area. He further injured the man that was already injured.
Okay.
Steve Austin should not have been in that match when it happened
And
because
that's
they
very
knew he
possible
was
too.
injured.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the fact is that it's going to happen. And even though it's tragic and whatever, none of those people. Oh, I don't think any of those people intentionally did it. Now there are some people out there that I think have intentionally hurt some guys. I mean, you can Google that stuff and see those on YouTube. Guys that they say have intentionally hurt guys because for whatever reason, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they claim. But I think, the bulk of these things are accidents, and that's what's going to happen when you're doing something that is a full contact endeavor like that, and it's bound. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, and Ridge seems like a decent guy, and, so I hope that he recovers, and I hope that he goes on to have, a fulfilling life. I don't know that he's could have a career in wrestling at this point just because, or he needs to figure out moves that he can do that don't injure people, or figure out a way to work a little less stiff. Whatever the case may be, he's got to come to that, and a lot of other people have to come to that. I don't know, I mean, it's a thing where, especially with the men, well, with the women too, but especially with the men, it's very much, I'm stronger than you, I'm tougher than you, I can endure more than you, and the reality is the body has their limits, right? And you can only push it so far, and you can only it will push back at some point, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's a scary situation. I mean, it's a it's a very scary. Darby in that year, I mean, I it looked like Darby's year was really fucked up in that match recently. Like I had shades of like Mick Foley. I mean, it was like, oh, he's gonna lose his ear, dude. Like, man, I mean, that stuff actually happens, and it's just kind of unfortunately, it is the nature of doing something like that, especially when you're doing more extreme style stuff. So I don't know, I mean, it's a weird thing because we cheer that stuff and then we're mad at it when it goes wrong, right? And it was surprised and frustrated and mad when it goes wrong, but we cheer it when we're watching it and it's going good. So it's a weird. I don't know. Society's weird.
I
People are
mean,
we're weird as as
I,
a
I,
culture, just in general. I mean,
I hear and I respect what you're saying about everything. I just, as an organization, after the first injury that Rich Holland gave someone, why didn't they sit with him and try to rework his moveset?
yeah,
Because this guy is still relatively new to wrestling. I'm starting to wonder, as an organization, why does WWE and TKO hire these people that are outside of wrestling and then train them in the WWE way and not expect more injuries because they really don't have the reps. Like, say
Yeah.
whatever you want to about like a Joey Janela, but Joey Janela can do some really dangerous stuff safely
Yeah.
because he's had those reps on the independent circuit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that a lot of these people, like, you have weird genetic people like Bianca Belair, who really worked her butt off, studied the craft, got better, and learned, but she also had kind of the golden era of NXT to learn. I think I think people need more reps.
Yeah.
I think having him in TNA was a good idea because he needs those reps, and TNA is really good at helping people. But having WWE tried to be cheap, which leads me to my next question. Twice in the span of like 5 years that we know of, women have been wrestling pregnant. Becky Lynch,
Say that
Naomi.
again. In the last
I
5 years,
said,
I go
yeah,
ahead.
in the last 5 years, Becky Lynch and Naomi have wrestled while pregnant. How in the world did that happen if you're supposed to be drug testing people? And when you do a P test, a lot of times it's very common to test for pregnancy. So that makes me also wonder what is happening in this organization that we're not catching the women are pregnant before it becomes a bigger thing. And then why are we hiring people that don't really have that much experience and then kind of pushing them and putting everybody's lives in danger? Like,
Yeah.
that just came to me as you were talking about like the safety stuff. Because,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean
you
that.
do, in UFC and MMA and stuff, they drug test before a big fight to make sure you're clean. So why is WWE not doing that? Like,
Yeah.
that's so
Well,
weird.
I mean, I mean, that's definitely that's the consequence of putting money over people, right? And caring more about the ratings and the fans that are watching and the bottom line and the dollar and the money you're making over whether it's good for the people, whether someone's actually healthy, whether they're in a good state of mind, whether they're pregnant or not, whether they're whatever the case may be. All that matters is you get out there and do that match until you can't, until you absolutely can't, or whatever the case may be. So we have something saying that you can't do it. We're going to make you do it, especially if you're a big star. If you're a Becky Lynch, if you're you know, a Naomi, and you're, a marquee wrestler, they want you out there as much as you can. And they're going to ask you to, do what you can. And then you know, Vince always had a type, right? He wants big, meaty looking men, and Ridge Holland has that look. And when he sees those guys, or I mean, in the past it's been Vince, and it seems to be still occurring. But when you see those guys and they come along and they're athletic, it's like, oh, we got to push these guys, we got to push them, we got to push them, we got to do it now before they lose their window. And in the meantime, he hasn't had the reps. He hasn't. There's something to be said for, yeah. I mean, it probably cuts your major earning potential short, but there's something to be said for spending 5 or 10 years in the independent scene, learning how to do all that stuff, cutting your teeth, learning the right move set for you so that you don't have those issues, so that all those things, getting all those reps in, so that by the time you get to WWE and you're on a mainstream, you're on mainstream television and you're wrestling big name guys, and you guys are making a ton of money, you're not hurting people and ruining their careers. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's one of those guys where they looked at him and they thought, oh, he has the look. Let's just get him on TV and we'll do the best we can. And obviously that hasn't worked. I mean, and now you decide, oh, we're going to let him go, but he's injured, and so that doesn't look good. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess, like I said, it's better that they're at least going to try to pay his medical bills. That's something, or pay for the whatever the surgery he's going to have. That's something, But it's still, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket when you figure, just not that Ridge deserves anything per se, but just kind of being treated like that. I mean, there's nothing. I can't even imagine getting injured at your job and then being fired. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a second, like, hold on, like what? So yeah, I mean, not only is this a workers' comp situation because I got injured on the job, you know what I mean, technically, but like now you're gonna fire me on top of it? Like, holy shit! Like, I mean, I can't imagine he doesn't have some sort of recourse, legal recourse. There has to be some if he wanted to go that way. I mean, so I don't know what that looks like, but um, yeah, no, the whole situation is just I mean, it just continues to reek of WWE being a terribly run organization. Yeah, I mean, it's just another feather in their cap of just being a terribly run organization, unfortunately. And just another reason why I'm glad that I, have followed your lead and stopped watching them and why, I support AEW. And again, not to say that AEW is perfect by any stretch of the imagination, because it definitely is not. But it seems to have less of these ongoing issues that than WWE does. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The whole situation is it's definitely disheartening for sure.
Like I feel for Ridge. I really do. But I just want to take a moment to remind the people who are sitting there and talking shit about him, and saying, "Oh my God, he didn't plan, he didn't plan, he didn't plan." Um, it's very easy to say that when you have a job. The way the economy is working and the way everything is looking, you might not have a job tomorrow. So be careful what you do and say,
Yeah.
because it can come back and haunt you really quickly. And for people who are like influencers and think, oh, I don't have a 9 to 5, that won't happen to me. You are reliant on other people to buy the things that you are selling.
Yeah, for sure.
If your base
No
does
doubt.
not buy the stuff, what's going to happen?
No doubt.
As Walmart is finding out, they're backing major policies that's harming their base. But if their base can't buy anything at Walmart, what happens to Walmart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
just just be realistic, folks. Like, things happen and they can happen quickly. So
Yeah, you can go from
it's
having it all to having nothing real fast.
nothing.
I mean, real quick.
And I
Real
can
quick.
tell you, sometimes it's not even real fast. That shit can happen. You can have everything 1 month and you could be
Yep.
making it. 3 months down the road, you have nothing because you have spent everything on trying to stay afloat for the 2 months before that.
No
So
doubt. Yeah.
just before before judging your talent, understand you're 1 or 2 paychecks with being Rich Holland more so than being Vince McMahon. And Vince grew up very poor. But Vince got lucky and his daddy found an opportunity. So
Yeah, there's a lot more Rich Hollands in the world than there are Vince McMahons in the world are. So yeah.
yeah. And also remember, you don't have to get to anybody's GoFundMe.
No, you sure
You
don't.
also don't have to. You don't have to sit there and talk shit. If you choose not to go to donate to GoFundMe and you want to donate to people who you feel like really need it, donate your time, donate your money. Don't just sit there and
Yeah.
critique all the time.
100%.
Uh,
100%. 100%.
is there anything else that
Yep.
you wanted to say on any other topic, or
Think so. Not really. Just, that it's just the whole idea, just that that people are, I mean, like I said, if someone is intentionally doing something, that's something. But when it's a legitimate accident and it's legitimate, whatever, those things have to be expected and understood. And just jumping on people for those things, it's especially when the person that suffered the injury, isn't bitter about it, and they're the ones that really suffered the harm and the damage. I mean, it's just let that stuff go. I mean, it's got nothing to do with you. It took me a long time to realize, and I'm a sports fan, and I have my sports teams tattooed on my body. I'm a diehard sports fan, and it took me a long time And it's only been in the last few years for me to really realize these people don't give a fuck about it as much as I do. They really don't care. Like the teams that I'm rooting for, the players, yeah, they want to win, but they don't care near as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why am I so invested? Why would I be so invested in what's going on with Ridge Holland and Biggie or Ridge Holland when they've already got it has nothing to do with me. They're doing what they're doing. They have their own situation. They've resolved it themselves. Ridge is whatever he's done with all these people that he's had these issues with. Nobody seems to be mad at him wrestler wise. So why should I have anything to say about it? Right. I mean, it has nothing to do with me and I have no right to, so, just let that stuff go. And I know fan is short for fanatic, and I know that's that's where it comes from. But at the same time, like, you got to have some perspective too, right? And it's hard, but you have to have some perspective. And again, when us who are big fans of Big E lose somebody like that, it's hard not to blame the person that you feel kind of caused that. But at the same time, it is what it is, and he knew what he was doing when he got into wrestling, and that's why he's had the attitude about it that he's had. So yeah, it just keeping that stuff in perspective. Just try to remember as a fan that you care way more than ultimately they do, and that there are people too, and all those things. So because it's easy to get carried away.
Yeah, it's very easy to get carried away. And I would like to
Yeah,
say, when they talk about wrestling isn't ballet, ballet is far more dangerous because people intentionally try to hurt you in the dance world. At least with wrestling, 9 times out of 10, it's an accident.
yep, yep. All right. Anything else you want to say
I'm going to playing guts tomorrow. Ah!
or talk about? That's
I, I get to see Willow. I get to see Willow.
going to blood and guts tomorrow, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
Yes,
is excited.
I'm very excited.
It
It's my
should
first
be
show in like a
fun.
year.
Nice, 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 nice. Who are you going with?
My cousin and I are going, so
Nice, nice, nice,
I get
nice.
a break. I get a break from being alone for a little while. I'm always gonna
Just
be
slow
alone, but
time for a little while.
yeah,
Off
I get
mom
to
duty
go
for a little
yell at
bit.
you on fans. Ah,
You're gonna have to take some pictures. Show 'em next Tuesday.
yes, I will have pictures that will be in our Discord because I can tell you that I got some pretty good seats this time. So,
All right. All right.
but
All
yeah,
right. Well, you
that's
want to
it
take
for
us
me.
out? Do you
All
want to
right,
do the house? Take us out. Do some housekeeping. Take us out.
sure. Okay. So let's see here. What can we say? What can we do? We are here most every Tuesday for the cookout. Um,
Oh,
come
wrong
join
one.
us
That's
at
my bad.
come join
I'm
us
trying to get the right thing up.
at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific as we talk about a wide range of things, like all the things that's happening in the world of wrestling. Because we have opinions and we try to be brief, but sometimes things happen. Um, you can also have the cookout on any place that you can find podcasts. Um, Dolores does put those up there for us uh, later, and you can listen to an audio version as you work out, you travel, whatever it is that you do. You can find Anika and Sammy. A lot of times Anika just by herself on Friday Night Fights here at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday. They watch SmackDown, and I question their sanity and continue to watch that show. Saturday morning at what is it, 10
It is
a.m.
7 a.m. Yeah, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m.
10,
Eastern.
10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, if that's your preferred area. Hold on 1 second. My puppy decided to wake up and just be loud as hell. Are you done? You finished? No. Okay. Um, on Saturdays in the morning time, as you get ready to clean your house or whatever it is that you do, come listen to Winter Circle where they discuss Dynamite and Collision for the week, and give you the ins and outs and stay up here for a ridiculously long amount of time. And I agree with y'all. I'll be putting stuff in the chat, but it be on Twitch. So yeah, thank you to everyone who is joining us on Twitch and YouTube. All the places that you are joining us, we greatly appreciate you. We want to thank you for being along with us on this crazy wild ride that we have found ourselves on. Um, but yeah, as we get ready to go out, I want to say, if no one else has told you today, we love you, we appreciate you, we think the world of you. Um, the world is that place without you in it. And we hope to see you on our next show. Chat us something, tweet us, blue sky us. I don't like blue sky. Um, just send us a message, send us some love, because we love you too. Until next time, peace.